Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to learn about SQL. I have been telling you SQL from last couple of videos. So today we will try to learn in depth what is SQL is all about. So let's learn it step by step. So as you know, SQL stands for Structured Query Language, which was initially developed by one of the engineers of IBM. So initially it was called CQL, that is Structured English Query Language. So as I have told you, language means it is used for communication, and query, as you know, query means it's a question. You are just asking a question through this language, and database is giving you the results or answers. All right. So SQL is a language for relational databases. I have already told you relational databases means it's a collection of tables, okay, which is used to store the data, okay, and they are related to each other. So SQL allows user to communicate with the relational databases, one and the same thing. Then comes SQL is a language which is used to store, retrieve, and manipulate data. I have been telling you many times that SQL language we are using in order to store the data. If you want to save some records in a table and you want to retrieve something, you want to access some data, then you want to manipulate, maybe you want to delete some data, you want to update some data. So okay, so these are the operations we can perform by using SQL language. So SQL is most widely used commercial relational database language. Some common RDBMS softwares are Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, IBM's DB2. These are the common RDBMS softwares that are available in market, but most of the companies use Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, and MySQL as their backend systems in most of the backend applications. These three databases, RDBMS softwares have been used. Okay. So again, this SQL language has been categorized into 5 sub-languages. That is data definition language, data manipulation language, data query language, TCL, that is transaction control language, data control language. We will try to learn in depth in my upcoming videos. All right, all about these languages. So this is how a database looks like. This is a graphical representation of a database. So if I say it is employee database, so it has got two tables in this database. So as I have told you, database is like a container. All right. So which holds a lot of database objects like database tables, database indexes, and so many things. We will try to learn indexes and views in the upcoming videos. But see, try to understand how the tables have been stored and how it is related to each other. So like I have one employee table and department table. All right. So it has got employee information and department table has got department information. All right. So if I tell you one simple example, when I'm saying database is a container, let's say you are going to a supermarket. So if you consider supermarket as a database, it has got different racks and shelves to store varieties of items. Okay. So one rack stores dairy products, maybe milk, bread, egg, and all that stuff, and another rack that can store grocery items. Then maybe some other shelf that can store that cosmetic items, like that. Okay, so you cannot go and throw all that all that products and mix and match all these things in one particular place. You cannot dump it there. You have to keep it in a proper structure. Maybe in database we are creating table to store the data. In your supermarket you may be creating various shelves to store your products. All right. So this definition I have already explained you. Relational database is a collection of tables that is used to store the data, and the tables are usually related to each other by primary key and foreign key constraints. So we will try to understand what is primary key and foreign key all about in my upcoming video. So as I've told you, SQL is initially developed by IBM. Then it has become a standard of ANSI. ANSI is American National Standards Institute. So once it has become a standard, So most of the database vendors, like Microsoft, Oracle, and some other companies, they have started developing their own database management system. So by using this SQL, they have started developing their own database system. They have added some additional feature, okay, maybe some programming capability, maybe some loops, some conditions, okay, some of the like variable declaration and all that stuff they have added. Maybe they have added some extended features, I would say. If I have to tell you in precise, they have added some additional extended features, and they have made their own database management system. They have developed their own, they have created their own database management system. So it's a SQL is ANSI standard, and then we have Microsoft and Oracle. So Microsoft has this product as a DBMS, Microsoft SQL Server. Mostly we will be learning this Microsoft SQL Server, and Oracle has, it's the product name is Oracle Database, Oracle RDBMS. Okay, so TSQL is nothing but it's a proprietary language of SQL. Okay, so Microsoft SQL Server, because see, TSQL has been developed from SQL language itself. Transact SQL, we call it as a Transact SQL. It has the programming capabilities. Maybe some of the other additional features have been added. Like I'll tell you a small example. Maybe the example can be, so whenever we have this the water is available freely, it is collected from different sources. But now Bisleri is they are doing all the like filterization. Okay, they are just adding some minerals, then they have their own packaging. So Aquafina is doing same thing. Okay, so it is like, it is, if you can compare to them, it is the same thing. Like SQL is it's a standard language. So these companies have been developing their own database management system by extending some features. They have a, and the definitely SQL is same across all the RDBMSs, but Oracle has given some additional features to it. Microsoft also has given some additional features to it. So they have developed their own product by extending the SQL language. All right. So it's in brief, we can say SQL Server. Sorry, it's SQL. It's a mistake. SQL is an ANSI standard DB language. It's not SQL Server. It's a typo mistake. I'm going to correct it. Then many vendors developed their own database management system based on it. As I've told you, SQL is available. So it has become a standard of ANSI. So now if I want to develop a RDBMS system, I can use that SQL and develop my RDBMS system by adding some or by extending some feature. Okay, some functions I have to extend, I have to use it. I may have to add some programming capability, then I can use it. And TSQL is a Microsoft's proprietary extension to SQL. I have told you it is an extension to SQL, Transact SQL. Microsoft has given its own name, that is Transact SQL. Then comes Oracle's PL/SQL, also same thing. It is a proprietary extension to SQL used in Oracle database. Then TSQL expands on the SQL standard to include procedural programming, that is local. See, so whenever SQL, you're adding some programming capabilities in SQL, that Microsoft is doing it in the same fashion, that becomes TSQL, Transact SQL. It is saying the same thing. TSQL expands on the SQL standard to include procedural programming, local variables they have added. See, these are the additional features. Okay, so as you know, SQL has these 5 sub languages. I have told you: DDL, DML, TCL, DCL, and DQL. Apart from that, so these people are going to add some programming capabilities to it. That is your local variable, that is various support functions for string processing and date processing and all that stuff. So now they have created their own proprietary language that is now TSQL, that is Transact SQL. All right. So that's all about our session. So I'm going to end this session now. Okay. So I hope you have understood everything, guys. If you really like this video, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay, so please do this, because it will definitely motivate me to come up with more and more technical videos, and I'll also record this video in ODI language as well. Okay, thank you so much guys for watching.